communities and all of that, when we should be focusing on achieving our objective, because eventually 2029 will come. No matter what you do, it will come. When the time comes, it will be able, there will be decisions made. So why is this so much frenzy about going to mobilize community, put people together and all of that? I think these are some of the distractions. Because sometimes when ambition gets into people, they become a distraction. And I think it is not about 2029. It's not about who becomes what, because you say you have a president who has not decided whether he will run or he will not run. So there should be nothing people should be doing, trying to jostle, position themselves and all of that. Eventually, when we get to that bridge, we can cross it. But for God's sake, the country needs transformation right now. And the president should be given chance to deliver on those. Let us suppress our ambitions. Ambition is nothing. It's secondary. Liberia is paramount. The people in the diaspora, they want to come to a country that they can be proud of. We have all the potential here to transform this country, to make this country a first world country, for God's sake. It's not about ambition. It's not about ambition. Let us focus on that. Nation building. That is key. That is a challenge. Creating opportunities, avenue where let our country become the place of attraction. God has given us everything here. We are not poor by choice. We are poor because few greedy people don't just want this country to move forward. We can't continue to do whatever other people did in the past. We should give the president chance. Let him administer the affairs of the country. Let him run the country. Let him get to the point where he says, you know what, when people, I have played my role and I'm stepping aside, then the competition can come up. But it's not time for competition. And that's the mission I'm here for. And that's the mission I'm launching from time to time. I will go to every community across this country to spread the message. It's about we need to take control of our resources.
Minister, while we on that part of the conversation, let me come in now as to why did the president remove you?
I don't know. But let me put it this way. This is the way I'll answer it. I don't know. If I knew, I would have said it. I arrived in Ghana, received a message from the Minister of State that I needed to come. Of course, I was coming home. When I reached on Friday evening, I stayed home. I'm a 7-day Adventist Christian. I didn't go to church that Saturday. I decided to rest. Sunday, I didn't go anywhere. I rested. Monday morning, I went to work. We were assembling for our regular weekly senior management meeting because we had that on Mondays. And then the team had just assembled, waiting for the meeting to start about 10 minutes to 9, which was the set time for our meeting to have commenced. I received a text from the Ministry of State, a polite text. Oh, can you please come? Let's talk. So I went to the Ministry of State. And when I went, Minister Steve Quay, a very good friend of mine, we worked together for 12 years when the president was vice president, and we been very good friends, good colleagues, respect each other. He said, this is the first difficult part of my job. The president has decided to do a reshuffle, but that reshuffle, he's going to drop you completely. There will not be immediate role for you yet, no assignment yet. But I just thought he gave me the permission to tell you. I thought to tell you. I said, okay, good. Thank you. I said, well, the president did well by appointing me, trusting me. I have done. I can't praise myself. The records are there. They will speak for themselves. Progress can argue for itself. But here is my concern. If it is reshuffle, fine. How you will communicate it, how the Ministry of State will communicate it to the public, I will listen. I hope that you will communicate it just as you have said, because if there's anything to present it in a negative way, like he is dismissed because of this, he's incompetent, or all the descriptions that will come with it, I will respond. But please, I don't want to respond. We have worked together where the president doesn't owe me anything. He didn't owe me yesterday. He doesn't owe me today. He appointed me. He can withdraw his confidence anytime. I don't have a problem. But anything that threatens my reputation, I am going to respond. But please, let us not reach to that point. I was giving the assurance that that's just what was going to be. It's not about anything. So I left, went back to the ministry. The meeting lasted for less than 10 minutes. Went back, allowed myself to conduct the meeting, preside over the senior management meeting. We exhausted all the agenda items. Issues that needed to have been addressed were addressed. And then I made sure that everything that I needed to pass on to people, I did it. After that, when the meeting ended, then I announced to them, I said, well, for your information, this is my last senior management meeting with you people, because any moment from now, I will be replaced. I wish all of you the best. Whatever you guys want me to do when we are around, my advice will always be. So this is what I know. This is what I do. And it's 8 months since I was replaced. And I don't think the president will remove somebody for a serious reason and not say it.
Are we okay? You can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, it's a lot of stuff going on, and I think that the just went off. Ladies and gentlemen, the minister will be back. Dr. Richardson, something strange is happening, right?
Yeah.
With this kind of information interruption, and now this is from the studio, but they will be back. Let me call and think. We get to the end of this story, right? There's a lot of stuff happening here, and folks, we are on. I see Nelson coming back on, or they will try to sabotage Dr. Richardson, and we will stay have this conversation. I don't know. There's a lot of stuff to this, and to say to you, Dr. Richardson, we sit here and let this conversation go. I really want to encourage every one of you. You can come back again tomorrow whenever the minister is available. We will have this conversation. If you're joining us from Word of Radio, that would be the best thing. If you're in Liberia, share the radio, put it on loudspeaker, and listen. We stay in 2026. We're even close to 2029 yet. And whenever someone like Wilmot Paye appear in studio, internet will be going off, LDC will be going off, generator will be going down, internet not working. Wilmot Paye, what's happening? It's amazing to know that people will target spawn because someone like you coming on to speak on these national issues.
I don't know what's happening between you and the regulator or whatever, but for me, I think these things are the normal. This is me. I will always be available to speak. I can even hold town hall meetings. I've been holding town hall meetings in community, which I believe are even far more effective than coming to sit down in one studio and all of that. So I will always speak my mind. I've always spoken my mind.
But when you sit in studio and you talk to 100,000 people, it's even more effective though. Because people on the radio listen to you. Yeah, but let me go back to the question why we have the town minister, right?
I think it's just technical problem. The way I
Yeah,
see it.
yeah. I know what's going on, Minister. We've been doing this for almost 8 years now. Now let me go back to the issue at hand, Minister. You were removed, and when we heard the announcement that you were removed, Minister, I approached you, and I asked you. I said, "Were you removed because of the allegation of 145,000 that were given
100
to
what?
you?" 45,000, and these are allegations. I sent you a text message, and I believe you were within the period of time. You didn't reply to my text message, but you promised me to discuss this. So while we have you on the show, I'm going to ask you. There was a company that came up that needed money lesson, and the company was brought in by Sekou Dukle, the National Port Authority director, managing director.
Mhm.
And it was also followed by another lady that after the company met you, that you should give them the money lesson, and they offer you 45,000. These are allegations. Please, it's nothing personal from me to you. They offer you 145,000 that you
145.
accepted. Yes. And you didn't give them the money lesson. The complaint was sent to the president by Sekou Dukle and another lady. I choose not to mention her name. And the president looked into it. No, I choose not to mention her name. Let's just move ahead. The president looked into it and decided that it is of grave concern that you address this issue. And I was told that they approached you, but there were no address to this issue.
Who
So
approached me?
I'm going to leave the story like this because I sent those information to you a few months
Who
back.
approached me?
The president,
don't
people
know.
at the executive mansion, I was told, and
Approached me.
yes. But let me ask you the question, Minister. Were there any company seeking lesson in Nima County that approached you and offered you 145,000?
No, no company approached me. You know, no company. In fact, with the ministry as the regulator has responsibility for vetting applications to issue licenses. In fact, licenses are not issued like that. 125,000, 145,000 for a license. What kind of license is that? What kind of license is that? What kind of license is that? Because you had the different categories of license for class A mining license. As at the time.
So let me go back. Did Sekou Dukle bring in any company that needed money lesson in Nima County?
I don't know of any company that, but I think I sent you some information. I don't know whether you went through it, but here is it. I'll be very, very, very fair, even to the very Sekou Dukle man. This is the situation. You know, and if this happened and nobody from the executive mansion confronted me to even invite me to investigation, then it speaks a lot. It speaks volumes. But I consider that to be complete stupidness. I can say it that way. Because it borders on my reputation, my character. First of all, that's not the way mining licenses are issued. You can do the research. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. I know of a story. I know of a situation. A group called 79 Resources. 79 Resources, I think, is connected to the president of the Chamber of Mines of Liberia. And then there was another group they call Northwestern. Northwestern, the two companies apply for the same license, but under the minerals and mining law, you cannot, it's on a first come, first serve basis. And you cannot take license from this group and give to this other group for any reason. So when the two applications, in fact, the two applications were inadvertently allowed into the system by junior officers in the ministry. And when the matter reached my desk, I decided to commission an investigation because payment invoices have been issued inadvertently. I would like to emphasize that. So I commissioned what we call a special investigative committee. And that investigative committee probed into the matter and came up with their findings that even though these companies, these applicants submitted their documents, but these are the issues. One company, all of them were ineffective. They didn't meet the requirement because the other company had applied in the name of another company which they are giving 100, which has 100% share in it. So when the assistant minister, the junior officials of the ministry investigated that, they came up with their findings. The Northwestern group now are gone to LRA and made a payment for whatever reason in the name of a different group. So when they did the investigation, I said, well, you guys have recommended this. What I will do, I will forward these findings to the Ministry of Justice and request for a legal opinion before I, as a minister, even though the authority is vested in me, before I make the determination. I wrote the Ministry of Justice. You go to the ministry now, you ask them. I don't know whether a decision has been made on that, but the records are there. So the Ministry of Justice took some time. They wrote opinion agreeing with the investigation committee. If that is what they are referring to, then I will want you to do the research. But honestly, the Ministry of Mines and Energy does not issue license. Nobody pays money to the Minister of Mines and Energy or Deputy Minister or Assistant Minister or Director for you to obtain a mining license. Nobody. In fact, if it happens, then it is a bribery. It is a bribery. If it happens, then it's a bribery. It's criminal. Nowhere in the ministry, the minerals and mining law does not have any provision for that. So I don't know what they're talking about or what you're talking about, but I think it is just intended for somebody trying to, whatever the situation is, to divert attention from real issues. Everything we did, I'm not too big. 8 months ago, I left the ministry. Up to now, not a piece of paper has come out. You think the people have issue on me, they will be keeping it for what? For what? So I think it's just unfair if this matter, I heard it, but then we thought that it was rumor. Yeah, it was rumor to say, well, once it's rumor, because it didn't come from the authority that needed to talk to me about it. If I had been invited to the Ministry of State or whatever, I would have gone there to say, oh, this is what happened and all of that. But everything we did, transparent, the ministry is there, the records are there.
So Mr. Minister, and that's why I like this.
About 125,000 and
Mr. Minister, let me.
If I had that money, I'm all right.
Okay, so Mr. Minister, let me do this. It's very important. And Dr. Richard said, I beg you, please bear with us because this is a very important conversation that involves Sekou, Northwestern, and Minister Paye. Let me go back.
Sekou has what? Northwest?
No, I said Sekou and Northwestern company, the company we're talking about.
Yeah, no, but the company was, the license was not issued to them on the basis of what I just said. And right now,
I understand. I want to follow up with my question. I got what you say. I usually don't go back to pick it back off here. I just want to follow up. Was there any meeting had? And I want to be on the record. Was there any meeting had at the Vice President place in NIMBO, right? That Sekou were called. We had 2 representatives from NIMBO, Nika Gay and the other representative present, and some people from your area present as well with the Vice President. And Sekou was called, and he was put on a speakerphone to confirm whether he gave you money between 114,000 to 120, whatever the amount is. And Sekou confirmed, Sekou Dukle confirmed with the vice president and your wife listened on, and they confirmed that yes, indeed, he can prove that he gave you 114,000 United States dollars or whatever the amount was, and he can prove it. But you didn't give what they came up for. Is it true? Were there any meeting here? Were there any phone call made that day?
You know, when people want to misrepresent, when I was removed on the 27th that evening, Tuesday, I went to the ministry. The vice president sent 2 representatives with some people with the chief of staff and all people who are connected to me, by the way. And they came. When they came, they met me and they said the VP sent us to you. I said, well, you people go and tell the VP that I know what has happened. He is the one. I'm not vexed with the president. He is the one who didn't want me to come here in the first place. So he finally succeeded. I wish them all the best. They went back and communicated. Then the vice president said he wanted to meet me. He wanted to meet me, but he wanted my wife to be there. So they went to my house. We went to his house. He brought this issue. You see, the thing is, when he brought this issue, we dismiss it because why? That's not how you do investigation. So all that one is just something cooked up. It's cooked up. And you think I am in my right thinking mind, I'm going to sit down and somebody throw that down to my throat. It doesn't make sense. I want to face my accuser. And that's the way people do investigation. So everybody said, but that was not correct. It was not fair to me and my family. And you want me, Stanton, to sit here. I want to face them.
No, that's why. Question for the audience, Minister. The Sekou on the speakerphone confirmed that he gave you.
Nobody gave me any money for me to take license from anywhere to give to anybody because that's not how it works. Even if somebody had done it under no condition, I, Wilmot Paye, could have done that. Not even anybody.
So my question is, did Sekou confirm on speakerphone in the presence of those representatives?
How will Sekou confirm when he is the one? How do you confirm such a thing?
So Minister. I'm not talking about investigation, Minister. I am saying, did you hear Sekou saying on the loudspeaker phone that he gave Wilmot Paye $114,000? Did he say that?
But how am I going to know that Sekou and somebody was talking? You come to me, then I say, so and so person did you give the person money, the person, and then the person say, oh yeah, I gave the person money. That's not the way it works. And
I understand. But just for the sake of this conversation, there's a reason why I'm bringing this up, Minister. And when I approached you maybe 6 months ago, I told you what I know. And you got angry with me, and I went back to you. I said, Minister, I'm sorry. This is what I'm hearing. So I wasn't attacking you. These are allegations. But the question remains, and the Liberian people need to know, did you hear anyone on the phone? Because they say it was Sekou Dukle. And Sekou Dukle was firm that he and his company gave you $114,000.
It's not true. It's not true that Sekou and myself were in any conversation where Sekou said his company gave me 150,000 or 110,000 or 10,000 or whatever. I am saying the vice president who convened a meeting at his house said, oh, because I went there and accused the vice president directly and said, you are the one who have done this. You have fought me. And then in his effort to make himself look good to the other people and say, oh, but Sekou said you took money from this people. I said, no, it's not true. He said, okay, but then I can call Sekou. That I was supposed to submit to that kind of foolishness.
Did he call Sekou? In your presence, did he call Sekou?
Whatever he did, I don't know.
No, but did he call somebody? Why, Mr. Minister, while you were present, did he call someone? Did somebody answer the phone?
But he called several people.
No, when he said, I will call Sekou, we got to be on the record now. Your wife were present. The other representatives were present because in our post-analysis, I will call Nika Gay. Did he call Sekou?
He called Sekou. He called Sekou, and when Sekou spoke, then I said, but Mr. Vice President, this is not fair to me. It's lie. If you can call Sekou to come, we all sit down if it can be an investigation. So that's
now we know that. Now we know that he called Sekou. What did Sekou say that you heard? What did he say?
I can't remember what Sekou said that day.
So what I'm saying to you, Sekou on the record said he gave you, he and his company, the Northwestern company that needed money lesson, gave you $114,000. Now you confirm that he called Sekou. No, I agree, it's not true. You telling me that. But what Sekou told the vice president that they gave you $114,000, and you were present.
I am saying it is Sekou's words against mine.
Okay.
It's Sekou's words against mine. And I am also saying to you here, and this is something I just want Sekou to come up, because for me, I have other remedies available to me. If I will be happy, because I will be very, very happy that the kind of issue I want to take up, because you accuse me of being receiving money for ABC. I like that. So just confirm to me that Sekou had told you that the vice president, all of them are in the country. Let them say that. When they say that, then we'll know how to approach it. But I am telling you, when this particular issue came up, because of course I was very, very angry. I said, Mr. Vice President, this is not fair to me. It's not fair to me. They try to look for issue and all of that to find. They don't have. There's nothing as such. I didn't take a down from anybody to take license and give to anybody. If I wanted to do so, do you know about the Buchanan tailings? Do you know about the Buchanan tailings, how we handle it? All of them were behind me to be able to give Buchanan tailing license to people and all of that.
Who all of them? Who all of them? Who all of them?
You know, the thing is, I want all to focus on this one here, because
no, we're telling you all now, man telling you all now. We cannot drum and focus on one. Who the all of them? Because we cannot tell these how young got Lawrence, Weston got Family, and all Joe, and all of them. So who the all of them? Who are you referring to?
The Buchanan tailing team. The matter, we investigated it. In fact, we canceled licenses. About two licenses we canceled. And people, that's when I got to know that people have vested interest and all of that. Of course, Grand Bassa people were approaching it because they were looking at their community, social development benefit and all of that. That's what they were looking at. All right. So the Grand Bassa story is a totally different thing. So the matter went to court. We investigated. The person who was holding the license, they were not satisfied. They went to court. The court upheld, civil law court upheld our decision because we investigated. Then they took appeal. Within that period, because of the different interests, people are pushing for us to be able to issue the license. I said, no, let the court resolve this issue. The matter is pending before the Supreme Court. When it is resolved, before the ministry now can handle it. But if we take the license now and issue to anybody, the court will say, but you knew all of this. Why you decided to do this? It means we'll be acting with prejudice, out of prejudice. So we left that issue. If I left office, the Supreme Court ruled in favor of the ministry based on my advice. So you see, all of these issues, and let me tell you this, that the Ministry of Mines and Energy, there are some people here who believe that it's a cash cow. It should be a cash cow. It was a cash cow yesterday for some people. Therefore, this is our time. It's supposed to be a cash cow. And I said, no, It cannot be because it's my signature. Tomorrow, when I'm going to court, I'm being summoned, my reputation will be at stake. None of you will say, oh, we pressurize him to give license to anybody. So on this Sekou issue, I'm very, very much interested in it because number one, that's the main reason I came here tonight and I'm speaking the way I'm speaking. Because I see a smear campaign based on ambition that people have. So they believe that since some of us are being pushed aside now, it means maybe tomorrow we are going to be potential obstacle, we'll fight back. When we get to the politics, when we get to the bridge, we will cross it. That's a different story. But it is a lie, Stanton, and I will say it is a lie. Sekou is not able to come and sit in your studio here and even call while I'm here to say, I gave you so and so amount of money for this license. And I want that kind of evidence right now. I want that evidence.
Before we bring it down, Richardson, let me squeeze in one thing real quick, which is so important. Like I say, I have over 45 questions to ask you. Listen, this is very interesting, folks. Share the show. We got Minister Wilmot Paye, former Minister of Mines and Energy, and it's going to be a wonderful program, and we hope that you can share it. Minister, let's talk about the John Mahama allegation. These are allegations that were presented to the president. So when I asked you the other day, a few months back, that Richardson, I asked the minister, what about this, what about that? Because I knew that this day was coming. John Mahama, brother, did he personally buy you a plane ticket? Did he personally, John Mahama, the president of his brother of Ghana, right? The allegation that he caught you a plane ticket and gave you some undisclosed. What was your business with John Mahama and gaining some lesson, exploration lesson or any lesson in the Liberian mining sector?
John Mahama?
His brother.
No, man. Ibrahim? No. Ibrahim had no interest in any mining license in Liberia. If anybody says that, then I think they are lying. They are lying. All right? What? They have nothing. He has no money interest in Liberia. In fact, the thing and let me put it this way. Our Secretary General of the Unity Party and President Seli sent us to Ghana to do a study tour while we were planning for 2011 campaign. So when we went there, the current chairman of the NDC, Asiedu, at the time he was Secretary General, he had small body, 2 small body people. They call him in Ghana, they call him General Mosquito. So when they saw me too, they call me Mosquito. Ibrahim called me Mosquito. So his brother was vice president at the time. So we've been knowing each other, but when this government came in, I think it was, I can't remember the exact occasion. I was in Accra, and then I met them. And in fact, I think this is what people may not be understanding.
Thank you very much.
Kavala Resources. I think they are trying to confuse things. Kavala Resources is owned by Dr. Sam Jonah. Kavala Resources is the company that took over Mount Kitomon, the mountain right by NIMBO before getting to Sanikore. So it is that mountain. Yes. So they have that agreement, that MDA. St. Jonah has a Kavala Resources. So it's been sitting down for whatever reason. So we're pushing for them to be able to restart the project. I don't know whether they have started. So while I was in Ghana, I met St. Jonah and all of that. He talked about that. I said, but you people need to make sure that you start your work. That's the kind of relationship we have. Nothing else. So to say, the people have to be careful. Ibrahim Mahama has no money interest in Liberia. I think it's unfair. Whoever is behind this thing, I think they are trying to sow seed of discord. They're trying to misrepresent what they don't even know. I think it's unfair.
So let me ask you a question. Did the president ever talk to you? If it's privilege, we respect that. Did President Barker ever talk to you about Abraham Mahama?
No. As a president office, it's not true. If
were you given a chance to speak to the president concerning? I want to go back to the Northwest, and Dr. Richardson can come in, because this allegation came up, Minister. And what is so surprising is that you seem not to know that they have alleged to the president that you were taking bribe, right, for mining lessons and exploration lessons here and there across the country. Were you ever approached by anyone in the government on this allegation? Like we are now confirming the Sekou Dukley Northwestern Company that came up surprisingly, you get to know after you were removed from office.
No. And you know, I mean, Stanton, this is Wilmot Paye. This is me. Nobody. Absolutely nobody. It is not true. It's unfair. In fact, now I'm going to be fighting now. Maybe I've been a little bit quiet in my private life. So they want to make sure that what they want to do is to make sure, and that's why I told you earlier, I said I am a target. And because now I'm convinced that I'm a target now, I am going to be involved with what I will be involved with at my best. Because it is wrong. Nobody, and let me put it this way, not even the president, nobody confronted me on any mining license for any group, for any reason. What is that? What kind of nonsense is this? What kind of stupidity, what kind of wickedness is this? Is this what we promised to do for the people? I think it's unfair to me. Yes, I don't have power. They can crush me because they had the power. But you know, when you even beating the child, but if the child take one pebble and hit you with it at news, they can make news. What kind of nonsense is that? What kind of evil is that? What kind of evil is that?
Okay, so we're gonna move to Dr. Richardson. Go ahead, Chief. Go ahead, Chief. Go ahead.
I told you I came here to tell my story, and then you know that you've been behind me even ever since for months. When I left from here, the 2024, you people are behind me all the time to come here. I'm not that kind of person who can 5 minutes jump to a studio to sit down and talk. But this particular one, I have rolled up my sleeves. They will crush me, I know, because they have the power, but it's going to be even Stevie. If I will die, let me die fighting. Yeah, because it's unfair. They fought me. I'm sitting down quietly in my private life. I'm not bothering anybody. What kind of stupidity? See what they are even trying to do. This government has a very good working relationship with President Mahama and his country. And that relationship between President Mahama and President Barker goes far back when the two of them were vice presidents. In fact, that's one of the reasons why our previous administration, President Barker, started having issue within our own government, because when Ghana was going to the World Cup in 2014 in Brazil, President Mahama sent his aircraft here for Vice President Barker to go there, and he went there to see the Ghana Black Stars up. After that, it became an issue. People were gossiping in our government within Unity Party circle. Oh, you see, they went to Mananseri. They say, you see there, this is what is happening, and the man sent his plane and all of that. I'm saying things I know because I was an insider. So they want to spoil that relationship with their stupidity or their BM thing they own. Their BM thing they own. They think the people of Liberia don't know them. The criminal deeds that they have struck. Even as I speak to you, I have documents, sensitive documents. I can't give out now. I have sensitive documents, how they have sold out some of our important mineral deposits. I have that. The D's they cross, the D's they try to cross with other companies in the country already. I intercepted that. It's right now in my hand. It's in my hand right now. They don't know about it, but I know it. Yeah. So they're afraid. They wanted me out of the way so they can do whatever they want to do. But I'm out of the way. So what they want to do? But I will fight. And I'm announcing it here. I'm going to fight. I don't have the means. I don't have money. But I have the capacity God has given me. The little things that God has given me, I will fight with it. What is that? What kind of evil is that? What kind of evil is that? They're supposed to go back into our struggle days and check my records. They didn't check my records and tell them and see whether I can budge. Whether I can be intimidated. They think they can intimidate me. Oh, you know what? Let's plaster him with this. Let's intimidate him. Let's say this. Then people will not listen to him. Liberians listen to all of us. Liberians know Wilmot Paye. In fact, I'm a modest person. I'm not a greedy person. I don't need a lot of money to live. I left government, appointed position in 2010. When I became Secretary General, I was privileged. I was in a position where I could have held that position along with Secretary General. I said, no, I can't. So I left government in 2010 up to 2024. How you think I was living? How you think I've been living? This week, I'm going to speak in NIMBO. This is where the campaign will start. Maybe they want us to start all the campaign for 2029 right now. Yeah? What is that? What kind of wickedness is that? How dare you lie and even talk about John Mahama, Ibrahim? Those are people who are friends of Liberia and friends of this government, man. For God's sake. The very people who are talking when they go to Ghana, those are the people they are with all the time. For God's sake. Amen. They want to use me as the scapegoat to divert attention from some of the stupidity that has happened in the country already. You can't run away from your shadows. Yeah? They undermining the president. The reason why I've been very calm and polite and I've been calm is that if the house belongs to you and you people are in the house and strangers come and they want to cause a fight in our house to break that house, you people own the house, you'll be careful. That's why I've been very, very careful, because this is the house that we fought to build, to erect. When some of them were dying, doing different things. We know they didn't know their records. They were with the last administration. They know what they did. Do you know why Samuel Twe and other people are grieving in their name today? Do you know that? And they want to sit down and take liberty with my good reputation. Reputation they can't match even by 1% with their criminal records. What kind of nonsense is that? What kind of nonsense is that? They want me to go into exile with my family. I will not go into exile. Whatever disco they want us to dance, we dance it. We dance it here. And now that the die is cast, there's no turning back. There's no turning back now. Let them do what they want to do. What kind of foolishness is that? You can't bring John Mahama. Those are friends of Liberia. I mean, it's unfair to them. You want to do your dirty local Liberian politics? Do the politics. Let's do the politics. And forget about those things. What kind of foolishness is that? I want them to come out. Let them come out and say, Wilmot Paye, we gave you so amount to get license to so and so thing. And let's see whether it will not end up in court. We all will go to the court to prove it. Because that's even a crime. That is a crime, to bribe people, to take license and give to somebody. What is that? No investor will come to Liberia and come and give you money in the corner and say, you know what, go give me license. There is a procedure for that. Open process. How in the hell they would think they can try to take liberty with people's character? They've been doing it to other people. But I am the last person. This standing skinny person sitting down in studio here is the last person they have done it to. Yeah. What is that? They want to replace Unity Party. They think we don't know that? They are fighting hard to replace Unity Party. They know that. They're targeting all the potential people in Unity Party and fighting them, thinking that that will give them the advantage. That is the strategy. That strategy will not work. It will not work. It will not work. They will not succeed. They will not replace Unity Party. Let them try hard. They can look for all the money. And I have been in politics since 2005 in this country. I know that money does not win elections. Money does not win. It can help you, but it will not win elections. I don't care what you do. You can party. You can keep it. You can put it in warehouses or whatever. You can loot it. However way you want to do it, it cannot help. If money were to help, then time that day, George Weah is the president of Liberia. George Weah is the president of Liberia. Liberians are not foolish people. What kind of nonsense is that? And they don't know that I can be very brutal. And I'm one person, God gifted me so well that I can write, I can speak, I'm brave, I'm not afraid. Hell, man, I can just eat my dry rice, I'm all right. I eat my dry rice. I don't have a family that is greedy. I don't have a wife who wants to be all over the place there. That's why God can go ahead of people. He can prepare people. He can prepare people. He prepared me long ago. Yeah. Since I am their target, I'm ready. The target is ready now. Let them go ahead. The target is ready. Yeah. Because that kind of evil. 8 months are left. I'm sitting down quietly. Yeah, okay, you did. And that's what I said earlier. Right from day one, I went to that ministry. Every day. Every day. Everybody connected to these very people. What is that? Because I resisted, because I stood my ground. If I had to do it again, I would do it 1 billion times better. If I had to do it again, I would do it 1 billion times better. Is that why they have deceived the people? I have here with me, we're talking about job, employment. We issue a regulation. And this regulation is a job creation tool, powerful job creation tool, where mining companies coming into the country are required to, there were 27 fee structures from 2013 the country has been using. We decided review that. We introduced 87 more fee structures where we said if a company, instead of us complaining about these companies bringing foreigners to work, let's be creative. If a company comes to this country, let's be creative. If you are bringing a mine manager or mine surveyor, you bring in all these people and you say you want to bring them here, they have to obtain permits. I will send you all the documents so you can analyze, take your time and go through it. They step on all of that, a regulation that is in effect. I was the one that said, let's change the class A mining company, big companies, ArcelorMittal, Beer Mountain, they were paying, ArcelorMittal pay $50,000 for 25 years. If you divide that money by 25, that is $2,000 per year. Sierra Leone right next door here, class A company pays $1 million every year, renewing license every year. Ghana, $1.5 million every year. You renew your license. We said, no, why should we take our mining license, which is a regulatory tool, and lock it up in a concession agreement? It doesn't make sense. So we raised the issue. Why is ArcelorMittal pay? Now they went, instead of revisiting the regulation, using the regulation, they went over and said ArcelorMittal pay $500,000 because the $500,000 we intended that it will be for new company. A new company will pay $500,000. By the time you start production, you pay $1 million every year. We carry class B license up to $50,000. What is that? Those were some of the reforms. The Ministry of Mines and Energy was sitting down over there, derelict. derelict, with a demoralized workforce. We revised that. Companies were refused to honor the mineral and mining law and the exploration regulation. Each company license holder in the country is to recruit at least 2 persons to a license. All of those programs were dormant. When we revised and we relaunched, recruited, we made sure companies were able to recruit 114 plus, and now I'm sure they are continuing that same exercise. We decided to decentralize the ministry. The ministry was never decentralized properly. We recruited 30 geologists, mining engineers, resident geologists, and resident mining engineers. In fact, we were able to talk to the Indian embassy here. They talked to their government. 30 of those people went to India, and they were able to train, and now professional master degree holder, county mine officer, and all of those. We did all of that. We restore public and investor confidence in the sector. The sector was a cartel. All the functions of the ministry, statutory functions of the ministry, were arbitrarily removed and taken to the Ministry of State as at May the 7th, 2018. All the ministry was doing there was, at the end of every time, the Ministry of State will write the minister and say, Mr. Minister, the following app company have been vetted. Executive Mansion was doing that. As the following company have been vetted, so go ahead and issue. So the minister was just sitting down there, just signing. We reviewed that. In fact, in April of 2024, we wrote the ministry, that issue went to the cabinet. We wrote the Ministry of Justice for legal opinion, saying the directive came from the Executive Mansion. I, as minister, could not revoke it. Justice Minister was asked. I know maybe by now they have responded, they have provided the legal opinion. Everything we did over there. And the way we serve our country, and the reward they have for me is to be stupid enough to try to destroy my character. I can be very, very impolite when it comes to this, Stanton. I'm not afraid of that. What kind of rudeness and what kind of indiscipline is that? The baby not born yet, the abo baby that. We ain't go nowhere yet. One prominent NIMBO citizen told me this last year. He told me, I said, Wilmot, the way the country, the way we are going, the old man, I think the old man should be careful. Because the way I see some things, if the old man decide to step aside and so thing happen by accident, you know what will happen? Many of all will be chased into exile. Every day it rings in my ear. It echoes in my ear. And this is the kind of society here. And me, thank God that now I know. I didn't know first, so I was acting, calm as usual. But now that I know, I'm throwing it to them now that I have accepted a challenge. And every single day, the thing about it, they will pay money, I will make news. They will pay money, I will make news. Yeah, so it's unfair. Internationally, the kind of respect we earned and we brought. Talk to mining minister, mineral and mining minister in the sub-region across the continent and around. The representations we made to places, Stanton, I'm not boasting. I'm not that kind of person who can boast. The people know. The international people know. So the way I was treated last year, no, but who has been treated like that? You serve your country while you are making a representation abroad, and orchestration is done, and then you are supposed to be disgraced as I was disgraced. They thought that maybe I was going to fall off, but I serve the living God who is big enough. No power can do me anything. I don't care who is that power. What is that? The old man brought them closer. He brought them into his government. Is this the way they will behave? And everything is just about money? Is this the way to get money? Is this the way to get money?
Allow us to do some takeaway. Yeah, thank you very much. I gave you a lot of time that you can address these serious allegations and serious issue. From the Sekou Ducle, the National Port Authority Managing Director, the Northwestern Company, on those allegations. One, let's talk about the
where is the Northwestern Company?
No. I want to squeeze this thing in. It's very important, Minister, for us to hear you on this. You said they're trying to take away the party. Who trying to take away the party and how? You said it. You said they're trying to take away the party.
The party. But this is what is happening. This is what is happening. When somebody comes to you to live in your house and you accommodate the person in your house, and the person says, you know what, I will be independent. I'll do everything independent of you. Doesn't that ring a bell? Thomas Fallah. That's Jeremiah Koung. They form NIMBO. What do you think they are doing? A political party they are forming. And the United Party people got to be naive to sit there and think that these people are interested in working with them. And I am the person saying it. I am saying that. And that's what Minister Humanly said the last time. Now, if you come to join people, if you want to support the president, and the president has his vehicle, a political party as his vehicle, why don't you just get integrated into it? Especially so if your previous party has expelled you. But you know, here is it. These people think they are smart. They are the people we should actually be prosecuting because their hands were in a cookie jar. These were the people who were chair on Ways and Means and co-chair respectively, working with the very people that today are turned out to be their enemies. And that's why when I sit down and do the analysis, I can now understand why President Weah and his people can be so bitter with certain people. So now they want to come and sit on us. They sit on our shoulders, then you say we are smelling. And we United Party people, even though some of us don't hold any official title in the party, we are supposed to sit down and fold our hands? No, we're not. We will not. We're enlightening the people. Yeah? We were enlightening the people. The United Party is a party into which a lot of sacrifices. When I was Secretary General, and there are a lot of people who made sacrifices in the Unity Party, I was the very first person in the leadership of the Unity Party who stood at the time when some people didn't believe in this very president today. And some of them are sitting down here, they want to pretend that they are concerned. So yes, the party is threatened. Because while there is a calculated attempt to target the party's towards potential people who tomorrow could play some meaningful role or contribute to the party. So let's eliminate them, let's suppress them, let's make sure that eventually then we can fill the structure. And some of our people don't know that, but I am the one saying that now. And this is the situation. They want to take you want to reap what you didn't sow. What is that? Thank God myself from Nima Kante. Thank God myself from Nima Kante. I speak the Man language. I speak the Dan language. So nobody going to gossip about me that I will not hear. And nobody going to bar me from entering anywhere in Nimba to speak my mind. We all communicate. You go, you talk your own. I'll go, I talk my own. You talk your own, I talk your own. I talk my own. You come to Montserrat.
That's our motto. You talk your own, I talk my own.
What is that? No, let me say the Stanton lastly.
No, it cannot be lastly. We stay there. We got too much to go.
But let me say this. This country is for all of us. There is nobody here who is more Liberian than any other person. Nobody here who has a purer blood than any other Liberian. I cannot sit here and profess or claim to be more Liberian than any other person. We are all Liberians. We are all stakeholders. We have a stake here. Each of us has a stake here. Whether you are here at home or you live abroad, we are all Liberians. And this is the reason why there's so much tension in the country. We need to reduce the tension. And until we can isolate these greedy people who see public office as opportunity for them to enrich and service their selfish appetite, we are going to struggle for a long time. What Liberia needs is a transformation, not some progress. The government has been doing some strides and all of that. We need to move ahead. When you stay behind, when you are late, you double up. You need to operate in an orthodox way in order for you to catch up. This is where Liberia is. A country with the potential that we have, even iron ore, the potential, the raw potential we have for iron ore, estimate about 17 billion tons of iron ore, the one we know of. And if you take it just at the minimum value of, say, a price of about 100 US, if you just take that raw, and this is not representative of everything that we have in terms of iron ore, because that's where we have our biggest potential. You are talking about $1.7 trillion potential wealth sitting down idle that other people just want to think that they are smart. They can mortgage it, and few companies can give them something, and then they sit down, they are like they are smart. What is that? Beer Mountain. Do you know the project over there? How much they are generating? The 1.6 billion plus they're generating within 25 years. That would be about 40.3 billion US dollars. What is that? Liberia, and ask my colleagues when I work in a cabinet, they know that I used to say this. Liberia, we don't need to be borrowing money.
But what did you do with Beer Mountain? What was your approach on them while you were serving as Minister for Mines and Energy?
Our first approach was to review all these concessions, and the president said that. So we're acting exactly in line with that. The first thing is, as Trevor Manor, former South African finance minister, said, if you can't measure it, you cannot manage it. If you and I don't see how we can be a sovereign country without custody over our resources. Sovereignty without custody is useless, it's meaningless. You are still at the mercy of the people. And let me put it this way, these companies that operate here, they all want to do the right thing. They have demonstrated that. We engage and they are willing. But you know, here is it, if you are in a house and you people who want the right thing to be done, then the people pass around, the people come, then somebody comes from your house and go to the person, but you know that thing Stanton is saying, with the people talking, but we can do it the other way. What do you think the people do? The people want to do the right things in your country because they are investors. They want to make sure that they stay here, they operate so it can be mutually beneficial. But then people from within your own circle go and tell them, look, I think we can take shortcut. It will be this way. If I come to your house and you tell me, I see you, the way you behave in your house, that's the way you are teaching me to behave. So what we did was, look, let's improve the regulatory environment. First and foremost, let's get away from this whole royalty thing. This royalty regime, 3% royalty on gold. If somebody is generating, say, 1.6 billion US dollar every year, at 3%, Liberia will get less than 50 million US dollar out of 1.6 billion dollars. So, do you think that which company is able to spend about $1 billion? $1 billion as project cost here. So the people are willing. So we decided to engage the people and make them to understand, and the people are willing to work with us. But again, we have greedy people, just as we are seeing now. Imagine somebody telling you they came a government official, head of an entity, which is the gateway to the economy, telling you that he brought an investor, he brought people and went to the Minister of Mines and Energy and gave $145,000 for a license. That is to tell you what they are doing. How they are running their institutions. They had the audacity to shameless. What a disgrace. What does that say about us? So we said, no, let's try to improve the environment. And we decided to strengthen the ministry. Because the first thing, if you don't get the basics right, it's for nothing. You can't have a ministry that is not even capacitated. The staff and everybody, they are just sitting down there, nothing. Then you will be the one. You sending somebody to go and monitor a mining operation that is generating billions, but the person you are sending to go there as your representative is not even earning $300 a month. What are you talking? You can't be serious. You cannot be serious. So the first thing is to put your house in order. And that's what all the countries around us are doing. That's what Sierra Leone is doing. That's what Guinea is doing. Do you know that we almost went to war the last time with Guinea? But you know why we went to war? We almost went to war while that crisis erupted. If I had remained in the Ministry of Mines and Energy, I don't think we would have reached to that level. Because a mining license was issued to a company to mine in the Makona River, a river that serves as a boundary between two countries. It's a shared resource, shared water resource. None of the one country cannot do it or do anything in that river in isolation or exclusion of the other. Just like Mana River, like Kavala River, like St. John, like Sesta, and all of that. But who is talking about that? Who is talking about that? Who is talking about that?
Who the lesson was issued to?
Yeah?
Who the lesson was? Which company the lesson was issued to?
My memory is right. One BK Money or something like that.
Who owns the company?
BK Enterprise or something like that.
Who owns the company?
I don't know.
Did you give the lesson?
Let me come down. It's not the issue of who owns it. The first thing is the regulator should not have issued license. That is the fact of the matter. You should not have done that.
That's why I'm asking you, why you don't honor your administration or honor the Tingbe administration?
It was done this year, January. The license was issued in January. Even if I were drawn, I could not have issued that kind of license.
Do you think that the reason why the Guineans took away the Liberian land?
Well, what happened was that was a provocation. You know, Guinea and Liberia have enjoyed very excellent relations since 1958. In fact, when the French government decided to isolate Guinea, because Guinea, according to them, prematurely opted for independence, and they withdrew even down to technicians, teachers, electricians, engineers, auto mechanics. They withdrew everything, medical doctors, health workers, they withdrew everything. So Guinea in 1958 was left on its own. And the French government made sure that the Guinean government could not even ship or export anything through ports in Cote d'Ivoire. It was the Republic of Liberia that Guinea reached out to, and they were using our port. So Liberia and Guinea have always been on one side. They have always been on one side. In fact, the two countries signed a defense pact. Liberia and Guinea have defense pact. So what could have prompted Guinea to deploy troops and make sure that their troops cross the border into another a neighboring country's territory? So these are some. It is greed. It is greed. And until we can, the president used to always say to me, Wilmot, when God helps you to control greed, then more than 80% of your problems are solved. Greed is too much, because it's greed that makes people, you government official, you want to own this, you want to own that. And Stanton, I'm going to tell you some more things. We are doing investigation. We are doing our own assessment. There are indications that these very people who think they can throw mud on us are acquiring properties all over this place. All over. Which undermines the president's own agenda. And I'm saying it because people are murmuring about it. What do you think will make any cartel brave? To bring drug. How you think the cocaine enter here? I worked with the Ministry of Commerce before, I Assistant Minister for Commerce and Trade. So I understand trade, international trade to some extent. You know, the shipping industry, when you bring bulk cargo like that through shipping, is less riskier. So they can take those things and come. So what is that? Why are you exposing our country like this? If the president invited you to come and work there, it means that it's a license for you to destroy the image of our country. Some of us were talking. Understand that? So they see where they want to bastardize everywhere and contaminate our governance system. After all the sacrifices the people made, the pains our people are going through, the years of civil war. What is that? What is that? What the top men do, all the property the top men and all these people acquire, what became of them? Go to Cape in Harper, Maryland County. See the building that top men had there. Who lives in it today? You think a top man had worked hard to earn his own money? You think he would have put it in that kind of useless structure? Go all around the country, right here, Congo Town, everywhere. Why is this that this generation, in our generation, why can't we learn and do it differently? Today, everybody runs to Ghana and all of that. You go to places, you see other countries, you sit down and say, yeah, these people have built their country and they are. You come back, then you say, you know what, let's keep our country as it is. How can you steal from yourself? How can you rob yourself? How can you cheat yourself? For God's sake. It's not fair. Botswana, the small African country of Botswana in Southern Africa, just diamond. They have diamond. When they discovered diamond, when De Beer went there, De Beer wanted to do, they did a concession. They wanted to do the concession. So they told De Beer, they say, you know what? We don't have problem with you. You can operate in our country. We can award you the concession. But you know what? Everything you want to do with diamond, do it in Botswana. De Beer they cut the diamond there. They polish it right there. Today, university students are paid to go to school. Housing. So this just a few days, I think yesterday, if it was not yesterday or today, the Ministry of Health submitted a national health insurance scheme. You know what that means? Where will we get the money from to support this program? From the mining industry.
Let me move ahead, Minister. Minister, thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Lastly, before you continue, this is what we did, because you asked what you did. I went to Labrador with the National Investment Commission chair because, you know, I like to act on information. We went to Labrador. We saw the operations that ArcelorMittal has there, the project they have there. The iron ore they mine there, the grade is very, very low, but they have a very serious program there. So what we were trying to encourage them was, I told the management, I said, you know what? If you can just do about 40% of what you're doing in Canada here, in Liberia, our issue will be all right. The problem we have here is not with the concessionaires. It's not with the companies. The problem is with greed. Nobody should blame ArcelorMittal or Beer Mountain, all these companies, because the people are here, they want to come and do business, they want to make money. But we should be the one to negotiate and say, you know what, let's do it so it can be mutually beneficial. You benefit and we benefit. Before all these companies came, the mining model, the concession model we had in Liberia was joint venture. Lamco, I spent my childhood around the Yekepa area. It was joint venture, what people are calling today partnership. Partnership, the joint venture, the company Lamco was operating in that place. The children, the Swedish people and the American people, their children went to school in Yekepa. They themselves, the workers, the staff, the senior people, they went to hospital in Yekepa. Why can't we do the same thing? But only we can do that. Nobody from outside will transform this country. And the way you present yourself, that's the way. And all the countries around us here are positioning themselves to take control of their resources. And we are sitting down here and we think the problem will wait. I attended a Council of Ministers meeting in Abuja. This is what I told my colleagues, fellow ministers from Africa. And everybody was complaining. They say, you know what? We had demonstration here, protest there. I said, look, the issue is not, don't be afraid of the protests and the agitation. Let's use the resources we have to transform the lives of our people. Because I don't care what you do, the generation the younger generation, you can't tell the people, when President Sali, when our government came that time, we told the people, hope that we just came from civil war, so you know what, be patient. After 12 years, when George Weah came, he told the people, wait, be patient. When we are now in power, we keep telling the people, wait for how long?
Thank you. Let move ahead. Thank you very much. Listen, Minister, it's always good having you. We got about 20 more minutes to spend with you. Let's try to squeeze our last questions in. I want to go back to the border issue. It's very sensitive. We are getting new videos from the border. The Guinea still on the side of our land. Jeremiah Koung said that normal activities is going on, that the issue is resolved. And I saw that on Facebook. I said, seriously, is this what Jeremiah Koung is saying? But we're going to play that video tomorrow, live video from the border. We're going to discuss it tomorrow. But I want to go back to what you said. It's because the next administration, when you left, gave lesson for them to mine and go and dig gold and resources from the Manakoma River. That what provoked the Guineans from occupying our land. I mean, is that something that you believe that exactly what happened in Lofa County?
But this is it, Stanton. I think you need to do further research on that. But here is what happened. This is what happened. The prefecture, the region across the border, the administration there, I understand, expressed that concern when they realized that there was mining in that river, mining activities in that river. They expressed that concern to our local people, local government or whatever. And it persisted. When it persisted, that was when now their troops intervened. Nobody is saying that. I am saying that because I did my own background. And it is obvious that's what happened. But after all, in your own right mind, what you think could have provoked Guinea?
Do you think the Guineans going to leave? Would they leave?
It's not about conquest. It's not about conquest. Guinea and Liberia are not neighbors by choice. The geography will remain as it is.
Will Guineans withdraw? Would they retreat? Would they leave?
Well, I think with the diplomatic maneuvers and whatever the president has promised, I just hope that is going to, we have to assure each other. Don't forget that Guinea too is close to the Sahel. And here is a risk that people don't understand. The reason why some of us people think we are heavy-handed when we are in authority is this. You see, the mining environment in this country is also a potential, it's a hotspot. There's a risk associated with that. When you have a whole lot of illicit activities and you don't move quickly to regulate and to improve the sector, you know what will happen? You become vulnerable. And with the porosity of the borders we have, And Liberia being close to the Sahel region, where transnational crime and all of these things are happening. So the mining environment now will become hotbed for crime. And this is where criminals come. I listened to the president, I think some time ago, and then they said the LRRC reporting that there are about 140,000 Burkinabes in the southeast. Isn't that a call for concern? Where in the world 140,000 people will just cross and come into a country, and those people, their country does not share border with you? It's dangerous. And this is going to change the demography in the southeast. In those counties, it will change the demography. So we have to be genuine, we have to be sincere, and those of us who are privileged to serve our country, we should be genuine to the leadership.
Thank you. Let me squeeze in this. I will leave the last two with Dr. Richardson because it's been a very interesting show. Though we have some technical issue, people try to sabotage our program, but you've been strong, you've been patient, and there are folks saying thank you for appearing on Spoon tonight. You said in one of the questions, you said that it's sold and they are selling our resources. Let me bring about Putu Mountain. Talk to us about Putu Mountain, the back and forth negotiation with Putu between Planet One and Sherry Adala Company, AMR. What can you tell the Liberian people? How did you leave the negotiation when it came to Putu Mountain?
I think here's the way I will respond to this. And every time I speak, I'm not speaking, and don't get me wrong. I am not opposed to any investor, because sometimes those of us who are highlanders, that's how they try to portray us, unfortunately. Even though I don't apologize for my being a highlander. Because even Donald Trump is a highlander. So when it comes to my country, I cannot compromise that. This is what we said. And Stanton, I'm throwing this challenge to all of you, those who are in the media, Liberians, everywhere. This is the challenge I'm throwing to you. All the concession agreements we have in Liberia, whether it's ArcelorMittal, whether it's China Union, whether it's Western Cluster, it's Beer Mountain, those concession agreements were all inherited. They were inherited. And so, and if you go across those concessions, if you check across them, a whole lot of inconsistencies, different models. So we said, let's change the model. And thank God the cabinet through the interministerial concession, everybody can be in agreement, but when it comes to the implementation, that's when sometimes the problem can come in. So our position, when I was Minister of Mines and Energy, was Putu, let us use Putu as a complete test case. The existing concession agreement, whether it's Metal, whether it's China Union, whether all these, there's no way you can perfect those agreements. Because why? You will live with them for a long time to come. The only thing you do, you'll be pushing the company to make sure they do this. And then when you press, you will come to the terms and make sure you do it and make sure you benefit. So our position was, let's use Putu. If Silver Star, the Russian holder, if they are saying that they want maybe 20 to 30 million US dollars, let the Republic of Liberia raise this money and reacquire, and the asset reverse to us. Then we can now decide what we do with it. But we have about 9, that at that time was maybe 10, around 10, 9, 10, 11 years left. So you say, you know what, let's effect change of control. That means you give it to a new group, come and pay that money or whatever, and then you give it to them. Within less than 2 years or 1 year, in fact, that company will come right back to you and say, you know what, the 9 years left in the agreement, we can't do anything, so we want you to extend the agreement. So your hands are tied. Putu is one of our best assets. So let's take it and begin to rewrite the
When
narrative.
you approached by some folks in the government I gotta push this question on you. Minister, you understand your proposal, but I gotta push this on you. I gotta push this. Please forgive me. When you approach by folks around the president that you have to agree on certain conditions when it came to Putu, and you disagree.
Yes, and I disagree on many things. And not because I didn't want to cooperate. In fact, at some point, the president would tell me, Wilmot, the people come to me, they complain, they say, oh, you're not cooperating with them, but they can't tell me why you're not cooperating with them. I say, but Mr. President, the people don't want us to, they want us to do things, they see, oh, no, we can't do that, Wilmot. Wilmot, but then hold your ground. We can't do that.
Well, if that is the case, that's why I'm coming from. Minister, please. We got to get the story straight. And that's exactly where I'm coming from. Because I was told they approached you on different suggestions, and you were stubborn. And you said, no, for country, we cannot go this route. They went back to the president. You're just saying exactly what I was told. And because of that, some of those reasons led the president to remove you. And you got to explain to the country.
Yeah, but
yes, for a good thing, not for a bad thing.
No, I know. I mean, for me, I don't regret most of the actions I took. It's not just Putu, even the Isolometa negotiation. And because I want to be fair to all the concessionaires. I want to be fair. I don't want to just focus on one aspect of it. The Isolometa agreement, we have gone 20 years, 5 years left. The old agreement was due to have expired in September of 2030. So why are we in a hurry to extend it? The closer we get to the expiration date, the stronger our negotiating position. That was our argument. Number two, this is what we should do. Let's remove licensing from all concession agreement, not just Ministry of Mines, not just mining licensing, but any license for that matter. Number two, let us make sure that these companies, we are able to engage them to make sure, for example, Beer Mountain, where you producing cement in Liberia for? We have Cementco. So how the local industry will grow. If you are producing water, then you undermining the local water industry. How are we going to create wealth? So the thing with the Putu is it's an excellent opportunity, and I did reach out to all the leaders, the key stakeholders. They say, look, let us insist. We shouldn't rush. Minerals don't get rotting and Stanton. This is the basis of my position, my firmness. In 1958 and in the 60s, when we were awarding concession agreement to all these companies, Secretary was insisting. Secretary died in 1984. Since then, Guinea has not collapsed. Today, they are getting the best deals. Because why? The minerals don't get rotting. They don't also grow. As you extract, they are being depleted. So instead of transferring, causing problems for future generations, we should be sensible and look at let's forget, we shouldn't rush with certain things. Because it's concession. Once you grant the concession now, then it goes above the Ministry of Mines and Energy. Because then the legislature has ratified it, president has signed into law, anything happen now, whatever you want to do, you got to go through arbitration. Some of the things we changed in some of our concession, and we started it with the Ivanhoe deal, all the concession agreement, there was no provision for penalties. So even if the concession holder is not doing anything, the only thing you can do is you try to pay them. So we said, no, there's no penalty for non-compliance. And all these things, and Stanton, the Putu thing is a really good opportunity, even though there was this discussion, and I always like to draw the line. The president, honestly, when you talk to the president one-on-one, and I'm saying it because I worked with him for 10 years. I know what I'm talking about. Because you see, too many cooks can spoil the cook. Too many cooks in the kitchen preparing all the recipe and this, that, the taste of the food can spoil. All right. But the president, as an individual leader, when you sit with him, because I used to talk with him regularly, but we needed to be united as a country. Because I can't be talking one thing, then the other people go, they talk different thing, or we say in meeting we agree, we move from there, and then people go say, oh, this Wilmot is high there.
And again, because we got 4 more minutes to you have to leave. It's 11:26 right now in Liberia. The Honorable Wilmot Paye.
You want me to sleep?
No, we got a lot to cover. We have a lot to cover. Dr. Richardson, you have anything to squeeze in? I got my last 3 questions, and then we'll give the minister a chance to flow in a which way. You got any question, anything to squeeze in?
No.
I want to go back to the party issue when you can.
No, I actually do. I just wanted to clarify that I came from work and they didn't check, the mail to say that I wasn't supposed to be here. I was supposed to be just a one-on-one with the minister. So I just happened.
Yeah, you did.
To let me come on. But so that's all. I just wanted to clarify that, I just jumped on. So
no, but thank you very much. It's okay. I love having you on. I do. I love having you on, Dr. Richardson. Thank you very much. Minister, I want to go back to the party issue. You seem to have concern about this NIMBO. It's very important as we move closer to 2029. It seems to be that you don't believe in NIMBO and you're on the side of Francis Yumali.
Yes. I support his position, and it's a genuine position, and it's not because he's against any particular person. Just as I'm expressing mine freely, it's a strong position, and I hope that the party leadership can see it that way and approach it. Because you know why? The only time the Unity Party will have the opportunity to take position and do some in-house cleaning will be in 2028 when the party goes for national convention, which will just be about 1 year before the election. That may be too late. That may be too late. So if you don't put your house in order now, you wake up, before you look, you are stabbed in the back. It becomes too late for you to go back and try to do it, because usually the issues that come within the party, and every political party and the Unity Party is no exception. There are different sides, there are different views. There are highlanders, there are center left, center right, and all of those people are within a political party. So there will be people who will look at the issue in different ways. So it's time for us to consolidate our base. How do you consolidate your base when you are sitting down and people are undercutting you? The president is from Lofa. Our standard bearer is from Lofa. And then you sit down, somebody comes to you smartly. The person is smartly undercutting you into your base and forming an independent organization, impressing you deceptively that it is not a political party, but it's a movement. But then eventually, before you come to yourself, it's too late. What is that? And I'm concerned about that. And I don't think I'm the only person expressing this concern. But I am courageous enough and joining Minister Yumali to express it publicly, which I believe is in the best interest of the Unity Party. So I don't think it's a good strategy to ignore it, to pretend that there's not an issue. It is an issue. If we should go to a political process where alliance or whatever, I think we should first put our house in order. When the house is in order, then you can stand up and engage and compete. It's a competition. So
do you think Thomas Fallah fit in within the Unity Party? Does he fit in?
Well, a political party, I learned this from President Obasanjo when I met him in 2017 when we had a meeting. I learned this from him. and we're discussing, and I brought an issue. I said, what we need is to win election. In order to win, you need votes. You don't there's no standard for vote. There's no standard for vote. You have standard for governance. You can set standard for governance. When you win election, you can say, you know what, Wilmot Paye, you don't meet my criteria, so you can't serve in this government because of ABC. The criteria I'm looking for, I can't find them in you. But you can't say, Wilmot Paye, I don't need your vote because my vote, Stanton vote or whoever, and President Obasanjo came in quickly and said, but Wilmot, you are right. In fact, in Nigeria, we say you need the devils and the saints, the sinners and the saints to win an election. But then you revert to the saints to govern. So what I'm saying is that if Fallah genuinely wants to work with Unity Party, because when you say you want to work with the president, you support the president, you believe in the president's agenda. If you like the monkey, you let it take. Yeah? Because there's no way the president can continue without using the Unity Party as a vehicle. He's not going to form a new political party. I think it's very, very important. So then, what is the obstacle? So I think a Unity Party may need him, but obviously Thomas Fallah was in Lofa. You know that he was there, and Unity Party say went ahead and won election. But what you could be cleverly doing now is to weaken yourself by allowing him to take charge of Lofa County. When he takes charge of Lofa County politically, what do you think will happen to all the Unity Party people who have potential and all of that? Don't be surprised you get to 2029 and Fallah comes and says, this is what I want to be there, or I want to do that. I'm not saying you shouldn't have any ambition, but you can't sit on my shoulder and you say, I'm smelly. I don't think it's fair to the Unity Party. And the leaders of the Unity Party need to wise up. It's nothing to pretend about. Time is not there.
It's President Barker protecting. It's President Barker protecting. Is President Barker protecting Thomas Fallah?
No, I don't think the president will protect Thomas Fallah, but I think what we need is to firstly know what did Fallah do in 2023. In fact, Fallah is a reason why some people die, some Liberian citizens die in Lofa, in a very foyer. What is he bringing to the table? I don't see what he's bringing. He is only benefiting from us. And let's be realistic. This is, with all due respect to him, he is only benefiting from us. He hasn't offered anything to us. He's not offering anything. He needs us, but it's being presented as if we are desperate and we need him more than he does. I think this is, and you know, I've been involved with politics for a long time, from the technical level, from the direct level, and of course, from leadership level. So I'm speaking what those who are political analysts will look at and say, but what he's saying makes a lot of sense. How in the world somebody will come, you say, you know what, let's break down your house first, and then later on we'll work together. I don't see the rationale, the wisdom in saying.
Is Fallah breaking down the Unity Party? Is Fallah breaking down the Unity? Is Fallah breaking down the Unity Party?
I think it's a risk for the Unity. It poses a risk for the Unity Party, because the time we are supposed to be building our machinery, we are now sitting down, relaxed, thinking that, oh yeah, you know, people are Fallah, and then at the same time they are building their own constituency, and the people who are going to their movement, don't forget that some of them will be Unity Party people, will be going there, because we are not providing, we seem not to be creating the avenue for them. And this is wrong, totally wrong. And the party needs to wake up. The party needs to wake up. If we don't wake up now, tomorrow may just be too late. So how do you come back together and regroup and consolidate? It becomes a difficult thing. I know most times, you know, right now everybody's focused on, you know, trying to position himself or herself, but the institution is that common denominator, is what brings everybody together. So let's build it, let's protect it, let's maintain it, and let's jealously, protect it.
I want to go back. I want to go back to NIMBO. There's a report from Samuel Koga asking for full investigation into the NIMBO politics money. I mean, you from NIMBO. The GAC report on the NIMBO politics and the money. Can you bring us up to speed, or I can play Samuel Koga? He was on the floor today, and he said some stuff which people are concerned about. Let me just do this real quick.
Or the budget of the Republic of Liberia.
Well,
and the revenue sharing law talks about areas that have natural resources should benefit 10%. But in order for the 10% to be effectuated, there must be a board. And the board to be set up should be done by the following ministry: Ministry of Justice, Ministry of Finance, and Ministry of Local Government, to set up the board that will be appointed. In the absence of the nomination of the board members, the Local Government Act that talk about revenue sharing will not take effect. So we are vetting of those circumstances. Based on National Budget 2026, ArcelorMittal contribution toward the national budget was 200 million. Out of the 200 million, if the board was set up, NIMBO County would have gotten 20 million. We were deprived of that. So in order to, and we did our research, it says that because the board was not consummated, so therefore we never got it. So we want to be proactive to ensure that the rightful law take place, and therefore these ministers should be able to give an account as it relates to the issue of the revenue sharing while we are not getting it. Thank you.
Can you speak to that as son of NIMBO?
Firstly, I will speak as a Liberian, a patriot, and of course, as a son of NIMBO. In fact, the model we try to push, we fruitlessly try to push when the concession, the amendment was being, the third amendment was being negotiated, which we wanted to be applied to all other concessions, was this. The way we determine even the Social Development Fund. ArcelorMittal was doing, say, let's assume that under the first agreement, they were doing 5 million metric tons per year. 5 million tons, per year. When they were in that agreement, they were doing 5 million tons per year. The Social Development Fund, for example, was $3 million. 1.5 for NIMBO, 1 million for Grand Bassa, 500,000 for Bond. That means, in terms of revenue, sales, and all of that, comparing it, Metal was actually paying 60 cents per ton. Now, the third amendment says they are going to ramp up production. That means they're coming from 10, they're going to 10 million, and then they go to 15, and then they go to 30 million. Within that 25, during that period, they now will be paying 5 million for Social Development Fund before I come to the 200 million. They will be paying 5 million. So from 3 million to 5 million. So if you do the math, you realize that while production is going up, the Social Development Fund, the ratio is dropping. So they are actually paying, they will be paying less than what they were paying when they were producing 5 million tons per year. You see, this is where we need to think. We need to think. So our proposal, which I believe would have made some sense, was let's determine that if it is 10 cents per ton, when they produce 10 million, we multiply that then that becomes the social development fund. Now let me come, but that didn't happen. Our argument, and of course, we had to leave. So that's what under the bridge now. We have an agreement that we have to live with. The $200 million. That $200 million, what was it for? Sometimes you hear the figure, you say, oh yeah, that big money. The company operated for, say, maybe 20 years. Within the 20-year period, with 5 years left in their agreement, the company says to you that they have not made profit. Therefore, they cannot declare dividend because your 15% share in it, equity share in it, the only way you can benefit from it is when the company declares profits. Now, instead of us focusing on that, that's why I said we would have negotiated from stronger position if we were a little bit patient. And this is what would have happened. We do our math and say, between this, for the 20 years you operated for, let's assume you did even 3 million tons per year. You just multiply that, and then if you even say that the price of iron ore was, say, $80 per ton on average, because at one point during the concession agreement the previous years, iron ore price went to almost $220 per ton. So you calculate that, then you sit down and say, but Meta, you have made about $2-3 billion over the year. And you do the math, you tell them, say, but the $1 billion, the $2 billion, the $1 billion you have made, 50% of it is this. So you see, we have just changed ourselves. So they just get round figure and say, we'll give you 200 million because we are cash strapped. We rush for it. So all these arguments the lawmakers are making is water under the bridge. For me, that is not the solution. The way I see the way we do concession in Liberia is the thing is for you. Then I come to you. I tell you, give it to me. We just sign a piece of paper, agreement. We sign the agreement, then I go and start doing business with her, and then I pay tax to you only. It doesn't make sense. If it is just on partnership basis, it will be better. But let me put it this way, and you people are business people, and I'm a low-level business person, but here is the common logic I can bring for people for the lay people and Liberians who are experts for them to be able to look at it. What do these companies bring here? Do they bring cash here? You're a businessman, Stanton? From my analysis, from my thinking, they don't bring money here. The only thing the companies need is what? To get right to an asset that is verifiable. Any bank will give you money. Prove me wrong. I want the economists, I want the banker, the experts to prove me wrong. Any bank will give you money. Because all bank want is there's this asset. Oh, there's a mineral deposit, there's a Putu iron ore deposit. This is the grade of the iron ore. This is the volume of the deposit. And this is how much it is. So then you do feasibility study. The feasibility study confirms that the project is bankable. And then you sign concession agreement. The mineral right, the right you gave to that company becomes the market, the thing they will use to get money. Any bank, anywhere.
And that's exactly how Liberia going down in the drain.
Yeah, this is the thing that we need to understand. So what we're talking about, we'll continue to argue among ourselves. The lawmaker will be complaining because when the money is small, it can't do much.
So
that can do 200 million can't do it.
You work at the Ministry of Mines and Energy. Let's talk about energy. What's going on with our energy sector, sir? Why is the country in darkness? Why is this like a revolving door on the downward spiral? Instead of us solving the problem, look at LEC, look at the distributor, the jungle water, look at all over in the country. It's just bad. And now we are hearing that B. Martin will take over the energy sector. If you know, you can let me know. And again, B. Martin will be bringing in billions of dollars of equipment, infrastructure, people coming in to solve our energy problem. What say you? Well, I mean, under the rescue government, from Money Captain to Sharif to So to all of them, we are in complete darkness.
Actually, and I like to thank the president and the team members across the sector. And this is why you see these two sectors, I like to discuss them together. The mining industry itself can be hugely critical for developing the energy sector. And here is why. ArcelorMittal need certain power, which our current generation cannot provide. What do you do? In reaching the concession agreement, ArcelorMittal now, you can have an agreement that says, okay, ArcelorMittal, what you want power. That's all you want. We'll give you the power. LEC now can because this is how much power ArcelorMittal needs to run its operations, to support its operations. LEC now can go now and say, okay, you know what? This is the power we have. There is an off-taker. ArcelorMittal is there. This is how much power we need. You enter into some partnership agreement with an independent power producer. That independent power producer comes down, we produce the power, LEC it sells it to ArcelorMittal. That investment can pay itself up. So this is why we focus so much on the independent power producer and trying to encourage that. First, LEC was having difficulties. So what the government do? We decided to restore LEC to its statutory structure. Because the way LEC was being managed wasn't going to get us there. There's some progress has been made, honestly, and we like to acknowledge that. We were able to, we established energy sector working group where all the players used to come together, all the energy institutions.
But to make this simple, Minister, to make it simple, the country is in darkness. You can talk about the progress of bringing people together.
The thing is, the country is in darkness. We can't, because the generation, our current generation cannot meet our demand. It's just not possible because you are generating less.
So what was
you are getting some input, but the
we heard this thing. We heard it from President. We heard it from past government. So what?
That's what I'm coming to now.
Yeah,
that's what I'm coming to now to solve the problem. That's why I say use the mining sector. The mining sector can provide that refuge. For example, Bear Mountain needs certain amount of power. Instead of Bear Mountain running its own power or whatever, Bear Mountain can be the off-taker. And then our company comes and produce the power. Certain fee will go to LEC because LEC is responsible for transmission, for all of that. And then Bear Mountain has the power it needs to run its
should the government give Bear Mountain unlimited resources from,
and this is what, yes, some of the things we did also. Yes, some of the things we also did. The focus has been too much on Mount Coffee. Then we said, but then let's also investigate to see also the hydro potential we have in the country. So a group came and did some assessment along St. John. They were able to identify, I think around, if I'm not mistaken, 4 possible sites where hydro plant, can be installed along St. John. So we have the potential. The only thing we need is to think out of the box now. And the way to think out of the box, you use one sector where you generate from this sector, you invest it in this sector. So development, I'm not an economist or a development expert,
Should the
but I
government,
believe
and I understand
development
that
go
though,
together.
Minister, should the government
So
do?
to solve our power problem, you need to be realistic. That's why right now, all we need to do is to get a private sector under the energy compact, the private sector, attracting private sector investment.
And I understand that, but should the government do about the trade here? Should the government say, take our resources and provide electricity throughout the country? Should the government settle? Because B Martin is coming with a $5 billion project, $5 billion project. Maybe you will look into it when we have you better explain. Say that?
You're talking about resource swapping.
Yes.
But resource swapping there's also a risk in it. If you're not careful, you will be giving more out. So what you need to do is to develop the mining sector, properly manage it, and then it can also support the energy sector, because all these things go together. But resource swapping is not going to help us. I'm not in favor of that. Maybe until somebody can really convince me.
Well, that's it. That's what the government is coming up with.
Is that you jam, then I come to you and say, you know what you do for me, you jam, you want back or rights. I say, you know what, but then give me your bet. And that's what you have.
And that's what the government doing. But it's good to have you, Minister. We got about 8 more minutes. We have to let you go by 12 midnight. We cannot have you here 1 minute after. I just want to come back. I want to say thank you. A lot of Liberians follow you through the technical issues, but they were able to recollect and regroup and listen to you. It was very, very intense at some point, but I think you need to do this more often. Let me talk about the imposition and opposition. You are from the imposition. All your life, since I heard of you, doing Madam Salita up to present, you were the Unity Party. Are you concerned about the opposition coming back? The way things is happening in the government, opposition, broad opposition. I'm not restricting this to CDC or ANC or CMC. Are you concerned that will be an opposition takeover if certain things is not met with this government? If the government failed to do certain things, that opposition will take over 2029. What are your thoughts?
There was an opposition to us. Opposition came to power, and Liberians, unsatisfied with the performance, voted that out, and then voted us in. What I am concerned about is what we do now. I'm concerned about what we do now. That's why there's no option. We don't have a choice. The only choice we have is to do what is right. If there is a challenge somewhere, we need to double up. And this is the only time we have is from now to maybe the middle of 2027, if possible. The
middle of 2027?
Yes. Wow. Yeah. That's the chance we have. The chance we actually have. Some people have even said that we have up to the end of this year, but I'm saying that's a latitude we have. All we need to do is to do what is right. Because the voters.
Well, are you doing what is right? It's your party doing what is right. Everything you know as of today, is your party doing what is right?
I don't know in terms when you say right now, because I think we've been having a long conversation. There are issues that need to be addressed. The president will have to put his feet down and now that I'm not in, because I've been careful not to talk certain things because I was inside. I was a team member. And so sometimes people will say, oh, but when you were there, what did you do? And I'm not speaking like this because I'm out. I'm a bold person, whether I'm in or out. I will always say it. I will always give my honest piece of advice, especially so when you have sacrificed for something, you want it to succeed. So it is the voters that will determine that. But there are commitments that we made that the people will hold us by. The opposition in 2029 will not be explaining what they did. They will not be explaining. They will be happy on our errors. What we said we do that we didn't do. And the voters will begin to see whether we have been consistent. When we were in opposition, we said this. And this is why some of us are very, very concerned, because I want to encourage our people to focus more on the performance. Because you see, as I said earlier, progress can argue for itself. You can erase all the billboards.
I like that. Progress can argue for itself. Let's talk about
public relations.
Let's talk about the yellow machine. What's your take on the yellow machine and the way in which the government is proceeding?
I'm one of those who was a strong supporter of that, even long before this day, under Madam Salif. And here is the basis of my firm belief in that kind of model. Before the Civil War, Liberia, all of our roads were not paved before the Civil War. But during the rainy season, the Southeast was not inaccessible. Why? Because the Ministry of Public Works had road maintenance units across the country. My hometown had a road maintenance unit, and parts of other parts of NIMBO and Zwedru and other parts of Liberia had. So this whole thing about rainy season, the road can be, and those roads were not, they were lateral track, lateral roads, dead road. But cars used to go to all those places. Why you think it happened at that time? It happened because there was a maintenance system. The only thing we need to do with the yellow machine is to make sure that it is proper. We manage it well. We deploy the machines properly, the equipment well, and there's a system of accountability, so it doesn't become just as what the 22 yellow machines that NIMBO County bought, wrongly. The intention was good, but then eventually it became a difficult thing to manage, because somebody who is a representative will say, but I want the machine to go to my district. I want it to go. That's not the way you do development. That's not, and that's what we need to buy.
So you like the fact that the vice president did extremely well to resolve the yellow machine from $84 million to $21.6 million. And now the yellow machine is in the country, and you can give him kudos for that and the government, correct?
Sorry, say that again.
As I'm saying, the vice president resolved the issue of the yellow machine down to $21.6 million, yellow machine in the country. Samuka asked for $51 million for operational for 1 year. I mean, is that something you appreciate, though?
Well, I am not an expert on that. I don't know the details of that, so it would be unfair for me to
well, I just told you taking that to $21 million.
No, it would be unfair for me to give an assessment of whether that money is adequate or inadequate. But what I would have loved to see, and I'm saying this sincerely, is we first start with a pilot phase. Pilot phase. Start with it on a smaller scale and be doing it, and over time, when you have built that capacity based on the experience, then you start to expand. But to deploy all those machines simultaneously across the country, I don't know how effective that is going to be.
Okay.
So that's my honest.
No, I respect that. It was too big of a load. Let's talk about the reshuffle in government. Do you think it's about time that President Bouaka reshuffle? Because when they approach you, they say, hey, it's not a one-off, it's not only you. Sam Stikwato, you say it's about reshuffle. But it wasn't. It was just about you, Wilmot Paye. Do you think it's about time that the president reshuffle?
I'm not in his mind to say that, because the first thing is, and I don't like to be biased, so it doesn't look like, oh, because he's not in now, so he said it's time. And maybe the president will have to look at midterm into his administration. You will look and see what needs to be adjusted and all of that, because we are splitting the term now. By the end of this year, we will have gone 3 years. So even those who been advocating for Nathan, some people were, even in 2024, people were talking about reshuffle. 2025, it wasn't a realistic proposal, at least as far as I know, given where we were coming from. Many of the institutions have broken down, like I think I sent you a video, a documentary of the ministry we inherited. So if you have wanted the president to reshuffle those of us who went to the Ministry of Mines and Energy in 2024 or 2025, what would they have been? What would have informed that decision? Because by the time you started, you needed to get the basics right. So if in his judgment, in his wisdom, if he thinks that, and for me, I think we need to double up on a lot of issues, and some of the issues we need to double up on are the image issues, the corruption issue, because this one can bring a government down. It can bring a government down because it becomes an issue of trust, consistency.
So do you think there's a massive corruption? There's a massive corruption in this government.
Massive?
Yeah.
I will not use that word. There is corruption. There is corruption. I will not use that. Massive.
So there's corruption. There's corruption in this government. It's the president. It's the president handling and addressing the corruption in this government. Is he addressing those issues carefully? You think is he?
Some action have been taken. I just hope that we can move a little bit faster and expedite it, because I will tell you, I was one of those people in the campaign messages that we used in 2023. I clung onto the corruption debate. And so every time I lie down, I reflect on it. And the president did the same. I don't think we were just wrapping our people for the sake of getting votes. I don't think so. I think we
he was very sincere. Whenever we spoke to him, he was very sincere. Lastly, and seriously, this is very, very last. We have not heard you speaking about the FOIA project. You think it was a mistake by this government? Whosoever brought those proposals to the president to build almost $10 million project in FOIA. How bad was that? The uptick, the PR was so bad up to today. Can you talk to us?
Well, the FOIA thing, actually, I was in government when it came out. So the president himself said what he said, and at least we accepted what he said. I don't know what the latest action is, whether corrective measures have been taken. Or I think the president even spoke to the nation on it on number of occasions. I don't know whether
the president said he didn't. The president said he didn't know about it, but
yes, and he said he was taking action. He said he didn't know about it, but
if there is no action taken, do you think it's going to harm this government, though?
Well, it depends on of course, the opposition will have issues that they will want to hang on, obviously, and this is why I say image is key. In politics, image is key. You people call it optic, but it's image, and that image it's a matter of trust. The voters are not foolish people. They are normal human beings like us. They listen to us. They hear us. They have their own intelligence to make sense. It doesn't matter what we do. So I think it's important for us not to take voters for granted.
Right.
I think it's important not to take our own people for granted, especially given that in 2023, if you look at the margin in the presidential race, and even you can see that it means that we need to double up.
A very team.
Yeah,
you know what? It's the country, and seriously, this is last, sir. Is the country better today than 3 years ago? It's not better today.
But Stanton, we have to be fair. We have to be very, very fair. I just don't like this. If we are comparing the two administrations, then we should compare and be realistic. That means, where was Liberia under President Weah as at this time under President Weah? Where is Liberia today? So those are the ways, and I want analysts to be able to do proper comparison, not just, it shouldn't be sentimental. Because if you talk to UP fanatic, a UP fanatic will say Liberia is better. If you talk to CDC fanatic, they say Liberia is not better. It was better under them. But if you do a proper comparison, then you will see what has worked, what has improved, what hasn't improved, or what needs to improve. And the president himself, who we worked with throughout in the opposition, he used to always acknowledge where progress is made and all of that. So I think we have made some progress, but for me, I am not in favor of some progress. I am not my public service life, and I owe no apology to people for that. I'm not interested in some progress, because you can make progress.
I want to leave it like that, but man, I hope to have you back. Don't go too far. You just couldn't answer with definitive. You just couldn't answer with definitive that the country is better, but you are very, very wise, and I like that. Making a comparison, you are very, very objective, and I wrote this down. You say you're ultra nationalist, and I think I would call myself an ultra nationalist too. You very, very pointed with your answer. We appreciate you coming on Spoon today. We give you the chance to close. We hope we can have you back in the near future. It's always good having you. To your family, to your generation, you're a good man, and we do appreciate your honesty. Thank you for joining Spoon today.
And thank you. Everything I said here is contained in my handover speech of Friday, November 21st, 2025. I haven't made up any story. I haven't created any new thing. I have tried always my discourse, and moving forward, I want my discourse to always highlight the need for Liberians to take control of their destiny. No country anywhere in the world will build Liberia. Nobody owes Liberia a living. We owe it to ourselves in this generation and to subsequent generations. That's all we need. There's no pretending about it, and we need to be serious about it. Nation building is a pretty hard work. In fact, that's why the Bible says nation builders don't sleep. You don't celebrate when you should be working. The time will come. In fact, when I was in the Ministry of Mines and Energy, I criticized myself. I hold myself high. All right? Because when you get to the point where you start to praise yourself, that you are feel within your that feel good sentiment that you are doing so well, then you are making a mistake. I think we should, every step of the way, we should feel that we haven't done anything. You wake up the next day and say, no, we haven't done anything. We need to do this. Let's stop praising ourselves and work hard and leave the judgment, the validation with Liberians. And I love to be appreciated when I'm not in the service rather than when I'm there. I think this is the kind of orientation.
And this is exactly what I like to hear. I want to say to you before you go, someone want to ask you quickly, what you make about this so many removal like Yeke Koruba? You know Yeke. I have to squeeze this in. You have to answer, and that's the last one. The remove Yeke is in code, it's not in code. Do you think the action against people that stood with this government, we can put culture and religion on it if you like, but Yeke Koruba, Mark Jabate, Prophet Key, people that came and stood with this government, and the way in which they felt that they have been treated, what say you?
Maybe I can just speak to this with Prophet Key. I will not speak to that because you see, I don't want it to appear that he's already been punished. So I don't think it would be fair to make any deeper comment on that. But on the Yeke situation, this is the way I see it. After the election, And the president, I learned something from the president. Sometimes silence is a very powerful weapon. Can be very effective. When we came from election in fact, when the government came in 2024, around the middle of 2025, there was not much of a noise in the country. The focus, the population, and everybody else was focused on what will happen, how the country will move forward. But then it has become a little bit more toxic. And I'd like to take you from Dillon, Senator Dillon. Sometimes we Liberians, sometimes we become hypocritical. All right? Like even the issue of corruption. Wilmot Paye steals, he corrupts, he goes to a public office, he steals, but then he's mine. Even though Wilmot Paye is a rogue, but he's my rogue. He's our rogue. He's our rogue. So then there's solidarity, quote unquote solidarity. But then another person who is not connected to you is involved. Then you take hammer, a sledgehammer. You say, we got to hit him. In that way, we confuse the population. So with Yeke, I think his behavior, even the Prophet Key, or some of those behaviors and I'm a traditional person as well. I grew up in a community, the part of Liberia I come from. When you are rude and whatever you do, they isolate you. In my town, they can isolate you. They excommunicate you. And they make sure if you are a woman, you don't go to fetch water where the women can fetch water. And they make sure they discipline you. So in this case, I think some of the best thing with that, because the leader, the speed of the team is the speed of the boss. President Boakai, the Boakai that we know, those of us who work in his government, we should try to develop a little bit of emotional intelligence in the way we react to other people. Because I believe you can control yourself. You can control yourself. So the legislature too, over the years and all of those things that they did, sometimes you work around people. When you change yourself, then you are working to change other people. But you can't force people to change. And yes, Yeke did things that were not right, but this is Koluba, Yeke Koluba. They see Yeke Koluba, who, that's why some of us, many people say, but in 2023, you people supported, you people with Yeke and all of that. For me, I have not encouraged anybody to abuse any leader in Liberia. I have not encouraged that. I would not encourage that. We all were together. Yes, so that collective guilt, the responsibility is there, but some of us, no. It just happened that you all have to be together when you are there. You don't have the authority to say, no, this one cannot happen. Don't do it this way. But I think sometimes we overreact to situations that we can handle. But people who also become leaders too should discipline themselves. Because you see, leaders are a reflection of their people. If you are a representative, if you are a leader of the people, your behavior will reflect on the people. And representative or senator or whoever you are, it's a serious role.
Thank you.
It's a serious role.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much and have a good evening. We hope you had the time to close, sir. Thank you. All right. Thank you. Nelson, you want to come on, ladies and gentlemen? We're going to bring Nelson on. I'm just going to bring in my brother Emmanuel George for patiently waiting in the back. Emmanuel was one-on-one. Sorry, maybe we'll continue tomorrow. Nelson, you can come on after the minister leave. Emmanuel, thank you for being so patient, though. But this, we can't do it today, but tomorrow will be powerful. Because what this minister, the former minister, just said is in the morning in Liberia, people are waking up. People are waking up to something new, or new storyteller. Somebody that coming out to say, no, I disagree with the status quo, right? I mean, briefly, I will give you 1 minute because Nelson got to go home. It was a big show today. I say thanks to all of you. What say you, Emmanuel George, Kev Hassan? Let's wrap this up and let's give it. Emmanuel, what say you? And you heard a lot. You took a lot of notes. Tomorrow will be super firing. Well, I mean, what's your takeaway briefly, Emmanuel?
Oh, for me, breaking news: Jeremiah Koung will not be presidential candidate on a Unity Party ticket.
That the only thing you take from there?
Breaking news.
That the only thing you take from there, man. All the plenty thing the man said that Jeremiah Koung.
Tomorrow we discuss the other one. The breaking news: Jeremiah Koung will not be presidential candidate on a Unity Party ticket.
Well, Kev, what's your takeaway? We gotta go. Nelson, stay with us. Nelson, stay with us, please. I see Vendetta Patrick in the back. I don't know whether he's coming on. But Kev, what's your takeaway quickly?
Stanton, Wilmot Paye said it very clearly. If Jeremiah Koung becomes president, we will be in exile. We aren't talking about other people, we're talking about folks from NIMBO County in Liberia. They are saying that Jeremiah Koung, NIMBO is split. They believe that if Jeremiah Koung is existing as a president, he get more power. They will not be able to live in Liberia. We're talking Liberians here. This is a very, very serious thing. This shows that Jeremiah Koung cannot bring the Liberians together. He said there is more split in NIMBO. That's what this man is saying. A born Liberian, a big name in NIMBO.
Okay, let me bring the answer though. We gotta go. Let's keep it for tomorrow. The folks have heard a lot, and we just want to leave it in them. Wake up, Nelson. Wake up, Nelson. Wake up, Nelson. We stay with us, Nelson. I said though, this is something that is breaking that will be all through the news tomorrow and the rest of this week. Wilmot Paye have said it all. Isaac.
Stanton, I had to call my name 3 times to remember that I wasn't dreaming. I had to call my names, Isaac, because I wasn't sure if I was listening to someone in real life or I was dreaming. Boy. Let's first quickly ask ourselves who Wilmot Paye is. We have talked about this in the back many times. We always agree that no matter how a group of people so bad, there will be at least 1 or 2 persons among them that are good. Wilmot Paye is one of those people. He says something that brought sorrow to me, and I felt how he was feeling then. He said, and he there wants to compare his integrity to mine? Oh no. The world has come to know Wilmot Paye as one of those very, very professional men.
We're gonna leave it there. We just gotta get a little for everybody.
Let me just end this. My brother, what you listen to should serve breakfast to you tomorrow. That 2029 is not a year you think you will come from NIMBO and call yourself Godfather, and NIMBO goes behind you. Think again. 2029 will be juicing, and that juice cannot be finished by the Liberian people. Wilmot Paye said a lot. You know the party people
so thank you. Let me bring it back around, and we'll be set to discuss Wilmot Paye. We'll cut everything he said, and we'll discuss it tomorrow. I promise you. With all the drugs issue in the country, but I think this is one of the biggest. Wilmot Paye said, how you call him, $140,000 from Sekou Dukley. He was called on the phone. Sekou Dukley confirmed, yes, indeed, a company was offering $114,000 to Wilmot Paye. All the different things that Wilmot Paye is targeting. Bangura. This is the alligator from under the water, spilling the beans. Welcome, Bangura. 1 minute.
Stanton, thank you very much. I listened to the litany of things women had to say here tonight. I can tell you that the ones that really have to do with the vice president, I saw the struggles to tie the vice president down, pin him down, and in all of the lies. So it was fraught with contradictions from the beginning and to the end. Now we will have more time to reflect on who the vice president is. I met this man. I've known him for more than 15 years. He's gone through the rank and file as representative twice, as a senator, and then as vice president. Let's hold everything constant. If Jeremiah Koung becomes nothing going forward at all, he would have achieved one of the greatest feats in his life that many people at his age would not reach. So he became representative somewhere around the age of 30. But he has been able to rise through the ladders of power, through the ranks of ladder, not by ambition, but by humility and service. He and I and others were with Senator Johnson. Many people in NIMBO see the vice president as the true legacy of Prince Johnson. In fact, while we were campaigning, Asido and I were campaigning for George Weah, Prince Johnson was with Jeremiah Koung in Ganta. He took off his hat, his famous red hat, and he told the people of NIMBO that one of the things I want to achieve in my lifetime is to see a vice president come from NIMBO. If you cannot vote for me in this election, please vote for this man. Vote for Bwakai so that this man can be the vice president. And if I die, I'm going to rest in peace. Jeremiah Koung represents the legacy of Prince Johnson. Nobody can destroy that legacy. Nobody can destroy him. I know that we will have more time to expound on this, but it's from the very inception, it's clear that women has never been a supporter of Jeremiah Koung, and that's fine. Everybody has got his or her side to take.
Thank you. And like you said, yeah, like you said, we'll do it tomorrow because it's very important. A lot of stuff, folks are calling. We cannot take calls, folks. We're sorry. It's very, very late. Nelson got to go.
So let me just land by saying, I listened to the bombing call. I listened to the story with the vice president and the president, and all the scenarios. There is nowhere where anybody can prove that the vice president tried to bring Wilmot Paye down. All he was trying to do was to promote a brother and find alternative for a brother to serve in government. But this gentleman sees it otherwise. The candidate public is not stupid. They are intelligent. They are rational. Everything that was said here by women trying to draw the vice president reputation in the
It's a big one, but we got to get a chance because these guys will have to respond. Let me bring in Dr. Richardson.
It's okay now.
Let me bring in Dr. Richardson. Dr. Richardson, you were on the show and you are quite correct. You understood that this was very, very intense from the beginning. When we got to the mining sector, when we got to Sekou Duplé Company, the Northwestern Company, like getting, mining lesson, Wilmot Paye deliberately said, listen, he went and used some words that he shouldn't be using. But again, Jeremiah Koung called Sekou Duplé on the phone. Sekou Duplé confirmed that yes, indeed, either he or his company awarded Wilmot Paye $114,000. Wilmot Paye denied it. But Wilmot Paye is saying the way in which he went after Thomas Fallah, right? That you cannot be Kiador and supporting Francis Yamani. That Wilmot Paye is saying that Thomas Fallah and the rest of them trying to hijack, or they have already hijacked the Unity Party. This is big, Dr. Richardson. And I can't wait for the ball because for today, by the way, because in Liberia, we are in Wednesday now. But Dr. Richardson, briefly talk to us. Talk to us, this will be a big one.
I left the interview having mixed views about Wilmot Paye. In the beginning, he seemed, blunt. He seemed upfront, frank. But then somewhere in the middle of the interview, he started getting frustrated or angry. I don't know if the manner in which you asked the question, he just got angry. He was just talking, which was just kind of interesting. He said a lot. He said he was particularly angry. It seemed like anger came out against the vice president, against Thomas Fallah, and against people who he thought, were not traditional Unity Party persons, members. So, and lastly, he said something that I thought as a woman, it just intrigued me when he said, somewhere women have a specific place to fetch water and he's a traditional man. So I was questioning, you know, what was his thoughts, what was his views. He presented as if, as a man, he consults his wife with everything that he does, especially politically, which was, you know, I thought it was a good thing. I complimented him on that. But then later on, the interview just seemed to go interestingly. You know, he started to talk, double speak to me. But I think I like the fact that he was very honest. One thing I took away was he was honest about the mismanagement of resources in our country. I really thought that with the yellow machines, he would have loved to have seen a smaller pilot.
Upgrade one, gradually. Yes.
As opposed to such a big investment. So I like what he said about that. And he did, you know, in essence, he was saying that our country, we're taking a big steps as opposed to baby steps. And he said something in the report that I didn't really quite understand, and maybe some of you guys can elaborate. He was talking about how the drugs came into our country. And he, you know, I wanted to
bulk cargo. And I got that story right, and we're discussing the drugs. So there's a new way in which they bring bulk cargo. It's intentional to bring in illegal stuff or illegal cars here and there. That's what Wilmot Paye was going. But when you catch that, I know whether to press it.
Was that coming from the port or was that coming from the airport?
So we're going to leave that. That's the reason why I'm leaving that. I got to share this information. But I love what you say. I love what you say when you talk about the yellow machine. But something Wilmot Paye said. Wilmot Paye is starring NIMBO. Thomas Fallah. It's like, but it's Wilmot Paye the Gov'T guy. Is this the internal fight? The Gov'T guy. You heard them saying Wilmot Paye that Gov'T man, that Gov'T guy. But again, we got to leave it there, folks. It's been a very, very long 4 hours. 4 hours, 30 minutes. It's been a great show. Dr. Richardson, thank you. Guys, come back again, except you want to squeeze in anything. The nation waiting for us again, 4 o'clock on Wednesday, 8 p.m. in Liberia to really dig deeper into Wilmot Paye. People are caught in his clip, his allegation on the vice president. But did you hear Wilmot Paye saying that he feared for his life and his life of his family? Did you hear Wilmot Paye saying that even if I go down, I will go down speaking? Did you hear Wilmot Paye saying that he cannot? Wilmot Paye, Dr. Richardson, Emmanuel, make some adjustment on your camera. You just thank you. Did you hear he's saying also that he cannot confirm whether this government is better today than 3 years ago? And I asked him that question intentionally, Emmanuel. Is this government better today than 3 years ago? He couldn't directly say yes. Emmanuel, he didn't give a yes answer.
Yeah, he did not, but he did piggyback eventually to speak to give some kudos to the government. But Stanton, what former Minister Paye did tonight was to introduce us to things that we know long ago about the Unity Party. We know that there is a faction in the Unity Party. We know that the traditional UPs are not comfortable with Jeremiah Koung. And we also know that Jeremiah Koung have also put a video out there that I'll share with you to show on the show, where he said that he expects President Burka not to run in 2029. And if President Burka runs in 2029, it will be the end of the partnership. So the Unity Party people are aware. Why do you think that it is difficult for when President Burka was in in California recently? He was asked during a town hall meeting, are you going to run in 2029? The president could not answer that question. So the Unity Party folks are doing everything they can to make sure that President Burka is on that ticket for 2029, and then to plan a way to get Jeremiah Koung out of that place. So I'm very sure very soon our brother Wilfred Bangura will be joining one of our parties here, because he will have to find out that things are not working.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. We'll come back tomorrow. I want to say thanks to you, Dr. Richardson. Thank you very much.
It's one of the poorest.
Emmanuel Josh, thank you. Cap Hassan, thank you. Wilfred Bangura, thank you for staying up late. Asido and you too. Want to appreciate
Stand up before you go. Stand up before you go quickly. Wilfred, hold your peace. Wilfred, you're blocking body with analysis. But stand up before you go quickly. Let's look at
No, hold on, brother. Hold on 1 minute. No, hold on.
America, I mean,
My man, hold on. You are too much ego to defend. My man, hold on. You still get your salary. Hold on, brother. Hold on. Stand up.
We gotta leave it there. We
No,
gotta leave it there.
you still get your salary. Why you still
Thanks to all of you.
No.
Nelson,
Dr.
Richardson, I really want to say thanks to you, Dr. Richardson, for holding it down, guys. We'll see you tomorrow.
That's all. Give 10 minutes on Facebook. Like
very late in the country. We have to go.
Yeah, start up, man. Start up, man.
Get 10 minutes. I am seriously. We have to go. I want to say thank you, Kev Hassan. Thank you very much. I want to say thank you, Mr. Bangura. It's always good seeing you. Thank you very much, as you do. Ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate Wilmot Paye and the discussion today. Thanks to him, thanks to his wife, thanks to his family. Join us again tomorrow. Let's have a great conversation. To you, Nelson Kola, and the entire team, I say thank you a lot. I do appreciate you guys. Thank you and have a wonderful, wonderful good night or good morning to your end. All right? Yeah. Thank you, Nelson. Bye-bye.
Yeah. Bye-bye, sir. Well, I want to say thanks to all of you here tonight for being here with us on this edition of Spoon Talk. The invitation is yours to join us tomorrow for another great show. Until then, have a good night. Many thanks to our partner radio stations who have been relaying this edition of Spoon Talk. And I want to say thanks to our online audience too. The many of you who tuned in here today to form part of this very important edition of Spoon Talk. I'm Nelson Kola. Have a good night and bye for now. To get your information, to be